What's up, Echo Nation? Welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about the wonderful idea that is ecotourism. As an ecotourist myself, this will be such a wonderful topic to discuss with you all. Now, before I start, I must warn you that unlike my other videos, this is primarily for school project. This will be for my AP Human Geography class, which is worth a college credit. I highly recommend you people taking the class. It is such an enjoyable class. Now, with all that aside, let's get into ecotourism. We can discuss where are places to go for ecotourism and practices yourselves can take to improve your ecotourism or ecotourists. We must discuss what ecotourism is. Ecotourism, by definition, is a nature-oriented tourism intended to contribute to the conservation of the natural environment. What does this mean, you may ask? Ecotourism is generally defined as being minorly impactful and including providing both contribution to the conservation and the education about the environment. The goal is to inform new people about how to preserve the environment. That is what ecotourism is. Responsible ecotourism programs include those that minimize the negative aspects of conventional tourism on the environment and enhance the cultural integrity of local people. Ecotourist myself, I strongly support the idea of preserving this environment and educating the future generation. While humanity continues to expand, we tend to destroy the natural, the beautiful environment that we have come to underappreciate when we really need it to survive. Now, such processes that humans do, such as deforestation, urbanization, industrialization, these practices destroy our environment, causing animals to lose their homes and some of them to even go extinct. If us as humanity want to continue to thrive on this planet, this beautiful planet, we need to come to know that the natural environment is important if humans want to continue to thrive. This is why ecotourism is so important, because it brings up this aspect. It makes people actually think about, it makes people appreciate this environment, this beautiful environment. Ecotourism is such a meaningful and impactful thing that we need to have. It is important to know practices that I and you can take to better help preserve this environment and to be better ecotourists. There are many practices that I could go over, but just to list a few, there is something as sustainable accommodation. The bedrock of an eco-friendly journey is the place where you rest your head. Sustainable accommodation options have emerged as a beacon of hope for ecotourists. From eco-lodges nestled in the heart of forests to solar power resorts on remote islands, these accommodations are designed without an unflinching commitment to minimize environmental impact, to prevent pollution, to prevent cutting down forests, to prevent from just destroying this beautiful environment. One of these practices that you can take and I can take is responsible transportation. The journey to an eco-friendly tourism starts from the moment you set foot outside your home. Opting for low-impact modes of transportation such as trains, buses, or electric cars can drastically reduce your carbon footprint. If you do not know what carbon footprint, the description will be right here. Additionally, guided walking tours, cycling trips, and electric-powered boats offer travelers an opportunity to explore destinations up to close without leaving behind a trail of carbon emissions. This makes it so we aren't polluting the air, which in the long run just destroys the atmosphere, destroys life on this planet. Pollution is the worst of all evils. Practice I will enlighten you on is waste management. Sustainable waste management is very important if you want to be an eco-tourist. Practices such as this are important in eco-friendly tourism. Littering especially is fragile, and a fragile region can have devastating consequences. Take oceans. Fish. Think. Ecotourism leads to a waste net. Travel should be adhere to the leave no traces philosophy, where you leave nothing that you brought behind. Disposing of their waste responsibly and even participating in cleanup activities if available. Get out. Pick up trash you see. Just because it ain't yours doesn't mean you shouldn't grab it. Contribute to the environment. We need it. Oh, now I have just gave you practices that you can use to be a better eco-tourist. Now, I will admit, I don't do all these. I'm not perfect. I am not him, as my generation would say. Now, I do admit, doing at least 1 to 2 will greatly help out the environment in the long run. Now that I have told you what ecotourism is and practices you can take to be a better ecotourist, I will tell you 3 places around the globe that are already supporting and promoting ecotourism, and you really should visit them. The first item on the list is none other but the beautiful Yellowstone National Park in the U.S. Now, this is in the northwest corner of the U.S., primarily in Wyoming, but some parts of it are in Montana and Idaho. This park covers approximately 3,472 square miles, which is with about 96 of this being in Wyoming, of course. And you have to see when you go to Yellowstone, it's a beautiful geyser. One of the geysers includes the world-famous Steamboat Geyser. This geyser can erupt nearly 300 feet in the air, some even reaching 400, which is very shocking. This makes a truly spectacular view to watch if you decide to go there, which you really should. I mean, to the lovely geysers. Yellowstone National Park has a diverse wildlife. There's many species, including some like grizzly bears, gray wolves, bison, mountain lions, moose. Like, Yellowstone is truly just remarkable. The only place where I get to be close to a brown bear. That video just playing, Yellowstone National Park is a truly remarkable place for all. But what makes it perfect for ecotourism is how workers at Yellowstone National Park are trying to teach the tourists on how to better preserve the environment. They even have rules there that mean the leave no trace rule. They have that there. They aim to better our environment. They brought the bison back. Oh, the bison were nearly extinct. At Yellowstone, they have brought them back up to a sustainable number. Next place on our beautiful list is Komodo National Park in Indonesia, on the Indonesian islands, whatever you freaking call it. This place is a beautiful reserve located in the center of the Indonesian archipelago. That's what you call it. Yes, it is. The park includes several islands, including Komodo, Winca, and Padar. In 1986, Komodo National Park was declared a World Heritage Site, basically a place that promotes ecotourism. Biosphere Reserve by the UNESCO. This is an ecotourism group, highlighting its ecological importance. However, the park faces challenges such as poaching, destructive fishing practices, and increasing human pressure on resources. Because humans, we just want resources. That's the problem with most our environments. With that aside, the park is beautiful. The park aims to preserve these islands and teach its visitors about how to conserve and preserve resources and how to care to the nature that are on these lovely islands. Along with its beautiful and all this information, Yellowstone National Park is home to a diverse array of wildlife. One is including the world-famous Komodo dragon. Like, who wouldn't love this thing? Now, with all that aside, and it also has 1,000 species of fish, 260 species of reef-building coral, and 70 species of sponge-spot, grail pants, 70 species of that. Now, conservation efforts have been ongoing to protect the park's resources from threats like poaching and destructive fishing practices. They aim to protect the wildlife they have. The Komodo National Park truly is a perfect place to visit as an ecotourism. Especially on my part, I want to see a Komodo dragon. I want to learn how to care for these species. I want to learn how to preserve this environment. And I recommend you visiting Komodo National Park. I want to visit it, but it will be an experience of a lifetime. We are coming to a close with our last place on the list. The Galapagos Islands are one of the world's most important ecotourism destinations because they are combined with incredible biodiversity with strong environmental protection. Located about 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, these islands were formed by volcanic activity and are now recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, ecotourism site. Nearly 97% of the land area is protected as a national park, and surrounding waters around these islands are also protected, making for one of the most largest marine reserves in the world. Strict regulations limit the number of visitors, however, each year, because they want to preserve the environment. Requires licensed naturalist guides and prevent people from disturbing wildlife. These rules ensure that tourism does not harm the fragile ecosystems that make the islands so special in the first place. What makes the Galapagos Islands so special is their unique wildlife. Now, 80% of the species here aren't found anywhere else on the planet. The islands are famous for the Galapagos giant tortoise. It can live for 100 years, maybe more. We don't know. Marine iguanas, the only lizards in the world that can swim in the ocean, has adapted to feed on algae. Isn't that just really unique? These islands are also home to the blue-footed booby Galapagos pigeon, the only pigeon species found north of the equator, and playful sea lions. Don't you just love sea lions? The surrounding waters support sea turtles, sharks, rays, and colorful fish due to the nutrient-rich ocean currents that surround these islands, making it a truly natural preserve. All that said, the Galapagos Islands shows that tourism can support conservation instead of damaging it. Visitor fees and tourism revenue help fund wildlife protection, scientific research, and habitat restoration. That is one of the main goals of ecotourism. Now, local communities benefit through these jobs as guides and eco-lodge operators, while large-scale resort development is limited. The Galapagos proves that responsible travel can support local people, protect nature and support local people, and preserve one of the most extraordinary ecosystems on Earth for the future generation. These islands are truly special. I would recommend visiting them. They are beautiful, the wildlife beautiful, and they show how ecotourism can be used to preserve the environment. That said, my friends, we are sadly coming to the close. Ecotourism is truly one of the best ways we can travel while still protecting our planet. I highly recommend visiting extraordinary places like the Galapagos Islands, Yellowstone National Park, Komodo National Park. These places are just free out of the many places that promote ecotourism. These destinations prove that tourism does not have to harm the environment. That's the meaning of this. Ecotourism, we can have fun. We can go look at these beautiful things. We can observe our environment without having to harm it. We can use our resources in the environment without having to destroy it. Now, as an ecotourist, these places are at the top of my list to visit. I hope they are for you. I want to experience this breathtaking wildlife, these landscapes, while supporting conservation efforts. Visiting these parks means contributing to wildlife protection, supporting local communities, help maintain some of the most unique ecosystems in the world. Don't let them get destroyed. I want to do my part to help our world while I am alive. And each of you can do the same by participating in sustainable habits and practices that I have mentioned. Together, we can protect the natural habitat, respect wildlife, and reduce our impact on the environment to help our future generations thrive on this planet. It's not to control it, it's to work with it, to preserve it. Now, with all that said and done, Echo Nation, I am glad to announce that I've been wearing pajamas the whole time. So I love you all. Have a God-blessed day. Please like and subscribe. I hope I make an A on this assignment.